We are back for another weekly episode of the Off Court Podcast, number 18 on the show. He is a 6'3" senior guard out of Ironwood High School in Glendale, Arizona, who has been killing it so far for the Eagles in the last two seasons. So far this season, he is top 10 in scoring averages, as well as leading the state in three-point percentage. It is none other than Noah Gift. I appreciate you coming on, man, today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Like I was telling you before we started recording, been a big fan of your game. I've paid close attention to you and Ironwood over really the last two seasons. I know you guys played really well last year, and then right now you guys have been on another level. So let's get into it. Um, 16-14 was the record of Ironwood in 2021 when you first played varsity. Last year, you were 23-7 in the 2022-23 season. And right now, you guys are sitting at 16-2 with key wins over Castile, Apollo, and Willow Canyon. But yeah, like I said, you've been a varsity player for Ironwood for 3 seasons now and have seen this program go upwards. What has been the biggest thing you've noticed in improvement so far from 2021 to now?
Well, I feel like our biggest improvement, like one, um, before like the whole season, like 2020, 2019, 2020, the whole season, like they won it all. Ironwood won the state championship, and then COVID hit, and it was just like a bunch of like the pandemic stuff and everything kind of just went downhill after that, and we
Hmm.
kind of had to like step it up. And so, honestly, it was just kind of getting back in the groove because you didn't know if your season was going to get canceled or if it wasn't going to get canceled. So that was like a big worry, and then isolation, playing with masks and everything like that. It
Hmm.
was just a hard thing to get like incorporated with. But honestly, once we started getting together, of course, it's always every team got their like internal problems or external, like every team got those.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it was just getting back to where we need to be at after what happened during COVID. So
Like I said, so far this season, you guys are 16-2. You haven't lost a game in almost a month. Um, what has been kind of some of your guys' biggest challenges you have faced this year? You've been in two tournaments, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But yeah, what has been kind of the toughest thing you guys have faced? What's been the biggest challenge so far as a roster so far this season?
I would say one of our biggest challenges is just staying unified, playing for like a full 32 minutes. Of course, like the game was long. Like there's gonna be adversity up and down, like 32 minutes. Like another team could go on like the other team could go on like an 8-0 run. And like you still have to like figure out how to like punch someone back. Like you get hit in the mouth and then punch someone back. And I feel like we've done really good at that so far. We're able to make plays, get stops, get kills, three stops, three buckets, and just do what we need to do and have the majority of them. Just win the rebounding battle, win the scoreboard right now. This team is shooting at an unreal percentage, almost like
Hmm.
40% from three. Like we have a bunch of people that can shoot the ball. And it just like I said, it's just if once something like adversity happens, once we get hit or knocked down, it's like can we get back up? Can we keep fighting? Can we punch harder? So,
Yeah, absolutely. I got your guys' like schedule up so far here, and it seems you guys have just continued to get better. You played is it Aui?
Hawaii.
Hawaii? Okay. Where you guys kind of got it seemed like smacked in the mouth. You guys lost by 17, but since then, it's been nothing but upwards. 67-61 the next game against Hillcrest, followed by 80-75. You took care of business against Paradise Valley 76-29. Castile you beat, Apollo you beat, and then you guys went on this tournament run where you won 69-46, 58-43, 72-42, 61-57, and then coming back this year in 2024 so far, you beat Willow, you beat Sunrise 79-70, and then 77-46. You, though, have been a very intriguing prospect to me with how you are able to get to where you want to be offensively. You're shooting 48% from the field, 45% from the three. What did you do before the season and so far during it to go out and play the way you have this season?
Yeah, so of course, um, all that fun stuff. It really does start in the off season when people ask, like it really does just like getting shots on yourself, like getting shots on your own, you having effective like sessions, like the gym sessions, like effective gym session, taking in-game shots, real shots that you're gonna get in the game, doing with pace, speed, everything you need. Um, and so going back to what I've done during the summer, because I know I work really hard, and all
Mm-hmm.
my teammates work really hard too, so they know how to. And like I said, with the team, it's like you got to know how to play together, right? So I've been playing with these guys for like my whole career, so they understand me. I understand them. We all understand the work we put in over summer, like the shots we get up, like tons of threes getting shot up, and it all comes from like confidence, right? Like the thing that confidence comes from authenticity and preparation. That's what our coach says
Mm.
all the time. That's a favorite thing to say. And that's something that's like really true. Like if you're like prepared, like if you like the preparation you do is gonna carry over and like how authentic you are and the way you play and how hard you get shots up, the stuff you do with your team, like all that, then like there's really no reason not to have self-confidence. Like, cause all of that should just take care of itself. And as it seemed like it's just kind of shown during the court where I don't have to play with no pressure. Like I gotta hit the shot. Oh my gosh, the game is so close. Like, no, cause it's not our first time in situations like that. Like we're prepared. We did like, our practices. We know what to do. My teammates know what to do, and we're all just ready to fight, and we're all just ready to, cause we're all prepared. And so most prepared team wins. So that's what we stand on. That's what we do.
That is definitely, I feel like, at least for me, being able to watch high school basketball very closely through these last 3 seasons. You're right. The most prepared team always wins. I think, that is why Perry has looked so good these last 2 to 3 years, just because their coaching staff has prepared them for these big moments. And that honestly, I think that's what shocked a lot of people about you guys last year. You guys are kind of, especially going 16 and 14 the year before, no one probably really expected you guys to play the way you did. I know you had a couple of seniors that went on and played college basketball. You've also been getting some college looks, which we can get into as well. But seeing the culture really be set by your coaching staff, has that made you and the rest of the team feel more comfortable and confident around each other to go out and play the way you guys do?
Oh, of course. Our coaching staff, I honestly believe I have the best coaching staff out of all the teams in Arizona. That's just how I feel. Like I know the work they put in, the amount of time they spend on us, the amount of things they do for us when it comes to like let's say scout or just practices, the time they spend on us to make a practice plan every practice, and like just they always talk it over. Like I don't know everything they do, but I just know they spend like so much time, a lot of their time, and they still have like they sacrifice their time. That's one thing that stands out the most is
Mm,
time they sacrifice for us. Because they got families. Like even yeah, we have families, but they have families too. They have things they could be doing other than like going to practice and trying to figure out a practice plan or how to get a scout report. Like no, they just know they just know what needs to be done and they get it done. Like and that's really all I can say. They work hard. They work hard for us. And honestly, we try to work hard. We plan to work hard for them, and we just plan all the time they sacrifice for us, we sacrifice for them, and it's that system that connects us. I feel like that's what makes us all closer.
yeah, absolutely. I want to get a little bit more into your guys' team before we kind of go back to you. Um, was that your dad that told us the new rankings
Yeah,
before
that
we
was my
started recording? Shout out to your dad
dad.
because I would have said something wrong live on my podcast. But the new AIA AZ Prep 365, whatever you want to call it, open rankings came out or like earlier this week, and then they updated today. You guys are at 6. Of course, number 1 being Desert Mountain, then followed by Perry, Sunny Slope, Notre Dame Prep, Basha, and then you guys following you, Deer Valley, Boulder Creek, Sandra Day O'Connor, and Millennium kind of finish out that top 10 before you got the St. Mary's ALA, Gilbert North, Mesquite, Brophy, Castile. That's kind of your top 15. And really, to me, probably the top 15 teams in the state. I don't think there's a lot of many other talented teams and a lot of guys I've had on this podcast that are from other schools, but to me, so far this season, those are the 15 teams that have played the best. You guys, though, 10-1 against Arizona teams. It's very impressive. When you heard the news, I'm sure earlier this week that you guys were in that top 10 ranking, what was your guys' reaction as a team and with the coaches and stuff? Or I'm assuming you guys didn't let it get to your head, but hearing that and seeing the recognition being out in Glendale, how did that make you guys feel?
Oh, of course, it made us happy, of course, like because we know how much work we put in, and we know how much time we sacrifice. Like I said, so but like I said, it doesn't mean too much. Like it's just the rankings. There's so many different ranking sites, websites where they can put someone over here, and like what really just needs to get done is just, we just need to win. Like we just need to do what it takes. And so at that point, it's kind of job's not finished, like what Kobe said. Like I'm not corny or anything, but like like but like it's real. Like we're not gonna let this get to our head because we know like how much of a fight it's gonna be. Like there's like all these top Arizona schools, right? Like we have to compete against, and like to be the
Hmm.
best, you gotta beat the best. So honestly, it's just hey, are we going to come out this next game, find a fight, and then the next game do the same thing again, and like just keep these like conceptual like these habits just like keep going. Like, can we cycle it out for the rest of the season? So that's how we feel right now, and that hey, we're ready. So
Yeah, that is not a corny answer whatsoever. I think if you ask any high school athlete, regardless of sport, about rankings, they're just gonna say job's not finished until you get the state championship. So,
right,
um, your guys' December was probably one of the best ones in the state, regardless of class, ranking, division, whatever. You guys played in two tournaments. One was the Pro Image Sports Holiday Classic in Idaho. I don't know if you guys won it or not, but I do know you got all tournament second team.
yeah,
Um, and then you guys went over to California and played at the Classic at Damien, where you guys did win it, and you were awarded MVP, where you beat Lehigh High School, I believe it's called, out of
sir.
Utah, 61-57. You finished with 25 points off six threes. That's probably a very cool to see and very cool to hear, all these stats and stuff. But what did winning that tournament in California, the Classic of Damien, being very high prestigious, very big tournament, usually during Christmas time, what did that mean to you to win it and being awarded the MVP?
Honestly, it was a great feeling. It really was because winning takes what it takes, and winning is a skill. Like not like you can have as much talent as you want, but you gotta know how to win.
Hmm.
And that's what we did. We came out, my teammates came out. We knew what to do. We knew what the job was, and we had to get it done. Especially going off of from, like last year, we shocked a lot of people when we went out to Damien Classic last year, the second best bracket whichever one we were at, and we lost in the I think we lost in the championship game last year, which was not the best way to go out, especially when we have to go back to California. But like we came in knowing what we needed to do, right? Like we weren't gonna have the same outcome as last year. If anything, we wanted to one up it. And that's what we did. We all had like a desire. We all had a motivation. We all were disciplined. Like we all were passionate about what we did or what we needed to do. And overall, that just came. So as far as like what I did, like what I accomplished, like the MVP, um, it wouldn't happen without my teammates. Realistically, it just I really just got the best teammates I could ask to surround me. Like they know what to do. Like I got my point guard out here. Shout out Vine. He's averaging maybe around like 6 or 7 assists. Like he's doing a lot. Like got like Jaden's a dog workhorse. All my team. I could go down the list. Blake, Josh, Caden, like all of them. Landon Brown, like all of them. They all have like a special role, and I'm just a person with the role with a role too, and I get to my spots. They set screens for me. I have my job to hit shots. So I hit the shots. Like it's all something that we all do together, and that I'm proud of all of us for going out there and just battling, winning
Hmm.
it all, especially after going, because there's some like really good talent out there. Like you got a bunch of D1 players over here, and then over here you got more, and just like, hey, it's a battle. It takes what it takes, and what do we have to do? We had to win, and that's what we
Hmm.
did. So
Yeah, and I want to ask too, how do you think it prepared you guys to go into the season? Because like you're saying, a lot of Division 1 talent, especially in the Idaho one, I was looking at, excuse me, like the all first team, second team with 13, all that stuff. You got Liam Campbell on first team. He's going to USC. There's another kid going to Boise State. Another big fella was going to like BYU too. So there's a lot of talent that was in that tournament. But that classic at Damien one and even the Idaho one, being able for you guys to play against that high level competition, how do you think it prepared you to go on for the rest of the season here and possibly make a run at a state championship?
it it really was like, it was really a unique experience, because it's not every day you get to verse like, D1 here, or like a D1 player here, like
Hmm.
there's a bunch of good guys in the high school circuit and everything, but it's not like you go every day and see like a high ranking dude, or like a person who committed there. Like, and what it really kind of defined is like, you can kind of tell the difference now. Like, you can like see the difference between why they're so elite compared to
Mm.
why other schools aren't as elite, or why are some players like this, where like we can go out there and they'll be nice, and then you go back to like Arizona ball and you just be like, yeah, they're good, but like they weren't as good as these players out here. So it gives you like a different experience to see. It gives you a different experience to see, and it also like a different like area of preparation, because those schools out there in Idaho, like some of the top schools in the nation, or like some of the top kids in the nation who were playing, and like you come back here and it's like, really, like, we got to find ways to win. So, and then we just carry the momentum over, just carry the dedication we had, our passion of winning,
Hmm.
bring it back to Arizona. Everything we learned, because it really was a learning experience out there. It was an experience for us to grow, and honestly, we took huge step forwards out there. We really did. So we came back to Arizona, started off right with 2 dubs. Got another one coming up, but
That's a great answer. Honestly, it's probably one of the best answers I've heard for all the guests I've had on. Just talk, how you talk about your teammates, your coaching staff. Um, yeah, this has been great. This could be a great episode. I'm not gonna lie.
of course,
I got a couple more before we kind of wrap up. Your team as a whole, like you're talking about with your other guys, one of the best offensive teams in the state so far. You guys average around 74 points a game off 18 assists. How would you describe how you guys play for people that may not know much about Ironwood?
I would say we're tough, we're fat, or we play fast, we play tough, we play hard, like 24/7. Like, we gotta win. We gotta win every rep, every second counts. That's just how we play. We're out to dog you. That's really the end of the story. It's like we're just out there to be the best version of ourselves. And if our best version of ourselves is I don't know, getting 70, 80 points or whatever, and like getting stops on defense, and limiting y'all, like limiting their shot selection, or making them take the toughest shot possible, then our job is our job is done. And we just do it over and over and over again. And that's just how we do. We play fast, get the ball at the rim, push ahead, get buckets, get back on defense, get stops, and do it again. Like, it's really that simple. Simple complexities is what we call it.
Mm. Yeah, that's a great explanation. You're talking about your supporting staff, and it seems like you have a great one around you with Blake, Ayer, I think you said,
I hear you.
um, Jaden, and a whole lot of other guys. How together is this team heading into the rest of the season?
We're, we're doing really good. Like, we're doing really good right now. Like, because all summer, all fall, all spring, all last summer, all fall, all spring, all winter, like the season, like all of us, it's just we've been here, we've been through so much ups and downs, adversity, and like happiness, enjoyment, passion, right? Like the hardships, the practice, and we've all been in the locker room like at the end of the season where like nobody likes it, like you gotta say goodbye to your seniors, like it's hard, like especially if you don't win it all. You just gotta say goodbye, and like at the end of the day, everyone's gonna turn in their jerseys eventually.
Mm.
So it's who can prolong the process, I guess. That's how it is. And so, like I said, race to understand. You got to understand what you need to do, and get the job done. You got to be close because if you don't know how to work with each other, then realistic, like it's not gonna work. So obviously you got to learn, and this is also a real world thing, like you got to learn how to work with people. Sports are a great way, basketball is a great way. You learn how to like do everything as a team. If one thing affects a person, it affects everyone, and one miss like rotation can affect your whole team and allow the other team to score. And it's like one thing affects another. You can't just let the small things build up. So the more together we are, the more unified we are, and the better outcomes we're gonna get. So
Mm.
yeah.
Who are the people you see most in yourself? You know, you talked about kind of like you're the guy that's, your role is take shots and make them. And right now, this season, you're averaging 23 and a half points a game. And your kind of totals. I'm not going to go through all of them. Of course, multiple 20-point performances. You had 34 one game, 30 another. Um, and yeah, you've just been on an absolute tear this season. But who are some guys you love to watch film on and kind of take pieces of their game and add it to yours?
Man, there's a whole bunch you can name out there, you can throw out there, but honestly, I like watching great, like for some people, like I said, shooters, like just the way, like first of all, you can always go with Curry because people say the, but you can kind of just see his off ball movement. I'm sure everyone has seen it, but the way he just comes off of screens, like you gotta get that in the bag. Ray Allen, the way he gets his shot up to Kyle Court, like just the quickness of their shots, like they're shooting, and they still know, and the fact that they know how to get to their spots off ball and on ball, like
Mm-hmm.
they can create for themselves, which I mean everyone needs to do, but really being able to like manipulate like outside of having the ball in your hands and be able to like create possession for yourself while creating possession for your teammate at the same time. Like let's say like setting screens, like slipping to the basket, setting smash screens for the big, versus the back screens for the big, back screen for the guard, on ball screen, like all the other actions to confuse the defense. Like that's really, and then eventually like you give it up or you get the ball back. Like the ball can come back to you, or the points can go on the board. Like I said, you don't do it for yourself. It's a team thing. You do it for the team. So whatever kind of helps your team. So like I said, Curry, like of course we all love him. That boy, he runs off a giant thousands of screens a game. Like Ray Allen was a pump fake shot. Like you just look at the releases and everything. You just wonder like I want to be like him. Like I want to do that too. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say those are some big influences.
One of my last questions for you as we wrap up. You guys have 7 games left on the season already, which is very wild to me, honestly. I feel like the basketball season is just getting underway and it's about to be done.
Right.
But it's going to be an exciting finish for you guys. I'm not going to go through all the games, but you got one at some of the key ones I've noticed at Centennial in a couple of days, and then you're at home for Apollo and Willow Canyon later this month in early February. How prepared do you and your teammates feel to make a run at a state championship this season?
Man, it's we're prepared. Like it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a challenge, of course. But the teams get better. Teams like all teams do get better throughout the season. Like they learn from like the whole story is learning from your mistakes and who can do it the fastest and who can do it the most effective. And the we come into the next 7 games, right? And of course, our season's almost ending. At the end of the day, once the 7 games end, it's like, all right, it's like natural. It's like natural selection. It's like kill or be killed. It
Mm,
gets to that point in the season. It's getting to that point in the season or the postseason where it's like, yeah, like no matter how you feel, the job got to get done. Like you don't you may want to get it done, you may not want to get it done. You might be tired. Either way, that like the standard is the standard. Like you're not gonna get anywhere just by how you feel. Like a job is a job, and you're gonna get fired if you don't do it. Or in our case, we're gonna turn it. In our case, you're gonna turn in your jerseys, and nobody wants that. So now is really having like a sense of urgency, I would call it,
hmm.
into having like a good push into the postseason, making sure all of us are going, like making sure grades are on top of it, making sure the out of school like distractions are very limited, and we can focus on like what we need to apply and practice, and how we can get better.
That is a great answer. To wrap it up, um, I ask every player I've had on the same final question. Favorite on-court shoe? I know, y'all are Nike or Jordan brand jerseys. Very clear. I'm not gonna lie. Probably one of the better jerseys we got in the state right now. Um, what has been kind of your go-to shoes you've been rocking this season? What's your favorite on-court shoe?
They're very controversial, but I like the Westbrooks. Very controversial. I like the Westbrooks. My favorite player. His shoes are comfortable. I mean, you never know. Maybe he'll give you more bounce. Like you never know. Everyone's like Kyrie's or KD's or what. I mean, give me Westbrook. Like so. That's where I stand on it. I have Westbrooks right now, so that's what I use. But that's where I stand on it.
Well, Noah, I appreciate you coming on and talking with me for a bit. As you wrap up here, anything you want to shout out?
No, shout out off the court pod. Thank you for getting me onto this, onto the podcast. Thank you for talking to me. It was great being on here and talking with you.
Well, I appreciate you, man, and wish you nothing but the best of luck. Make sure everyone to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at offthecourt.pod. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. We don't have a lot of we've been getting a lot of listeners, but not a lot of followers. We need the follow count to go up. Give us a 5-star rating if you want to. But yeah, appreciate you coming on, man. Wishing nothing but the best. Very excited to come and watch Ironwood play this season. We got to try to come to a game or two at least as the season wraps. But that's going to do it for us on Off the Court. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.